This is Lansdowne ROAR, the voice of the fans. Coming up, Evan Ferguson to join West Ham on loan until the end of the season. Eiran Cashin signs for Brighton, and we take a look at how our boys in green got on across the water. It's Lansdowne ROAR, it's live, and we're next. Don't know where I was going with that next thing. I was sort of going with my Martin Tyler. How's it going? David Dunn here, joined by Conor McAvoy. It's Lansdowne ROAR. It is live. We are next. We're now, actually, we're not next. And of course, we are Irish football's most interactive podcast. We're live on YouTube, Twitter, and of course, over on the Facebook channels. Have your say, get involved. That's what we're about. If you haven't watched us before, you're very welcome. It's pretty much that. Have your say, get involved. We're going to be talking about some of the latest news here with the boys in green, and then we're going to go through some big, and then we're going to get to your comments where we answer your questions. You can talk to us about what we're talking about, or you can just talk to us about anything you want to do with Irish football, or even just anything. I don't know, latest episode of Fair City, whatever. Haven't watched it though, just to make you aware. Before we get started, of course, a bit of housekeeping. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're currently just over 1,800 subscribers on the YouTube channel. And Connor, we're trying to get to 2,000 before March, aren't we? Where you and I are going to be over in Plovdiv, Bulgaria. So we're trying to get there, guys. If you're watching and you haven't done already, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just hit that button below there. And if you haven't already, please do like the video as well. It really does help. We're trying to build a profile of the page. We're just trying to do more stuff for you, because you're ROAR faithful and you are lovely. Connor, how are you doing? You're looking like an evil genius there in your sort of. We're kind of halfway through. Connor's trying to build himself a little studio there. He's halfway through it.
We're getting there.
He's getting there. Yeah, it's a bit like if you're ever watching Crow Park in the early 2000s when they were kind of building it up every week. I'd always tune in. No interest in getting football. I just wanted to see where they were with the redevelopment of Crow Park. It's a bit like that going on over there with Connor. How are you doing, Connor?
I'm great, actually. It's been actually a great weekend for Irish football in a sense, with so many lads have scored over the past 2 days. We finally a move is materialising for Evan Ferguson. I don't think there's too much negatives to really look back on. Dave's on, no Martin. Maybe that's the only negative. I think we'd all rather if Prendy was on presenting tonight and we would have took off in time, but no, it's good to be on. I've had a good weekend of enjoying football.
You stop like the intro track goes through like its second loop before he fucking hits before he unveils himself when he's on there. Hi, Martin. Hope you're well. Martin is over. I think he was at White Hart Lane, wasn't he? He was
the new Tottenham Stadium.
Yeah, so he was taking. I think he was taking his girls to watch the football there, which they lost. Man United won 1-0, I believe. If you're into that kind of thing, there you go. Yes, of course, no Martin today, but tomorrow, the transfer deadline approaches. The January transfer window closes, but we will be live tomorrow at 9:30, where we're going to have a roundup of all of the Irish transfer deadline business and just the January transfer business. One or two more to wrap up there, and we're kind of waiting on that. But we're going to have all of that for you tomorrow as well. It's 9:30. We'll be here on YouTube. We'll be here on Facebook. And, of course, we'll be here on Twitter. Actually, I forgot to say, guys, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. But also subscribe to the Facebook, the Instagram, and the Twitter. And if you want to find out what's going on with the current boys in and girls in green, head over to Rep Tracker. Connor doing God's work over on Rep Tracker on Twitter and, of course, on Facebook. So let's get into it. We see your comments coming in, guys. As always, you're welcome. And have you say, get involved, leave a comment. We're going to have a look at some of the latest news and, of course, the big story which broke this morning. And, of course, the big story this morning is that, let me just take that banner off. And that is Evan Ferguson. Yes, I have stolen that from Fabrizio Romano. I'm sure he can afford it. He's not worried about it. A little old sweet innocent Irish podcast like us stealing his stuff, liberating his Photoshop, I presume that is. But yes, there he is. Evan Ferguson looks set to complete a loan move, a straightforward loan move, we've been told. A straight loan move. Which I was like, what's a straight loan move till the end of the season? Basically, it's straight ahead. It's to the end of the season, no strings attached. West Ham cover all the costs. They cover his wages. There's no fee. It's just boom. There is a straight loan deal. Of course, Evan Ferguson will join Graham Potter, who was the manager who broke him into the Brighton team, who picked him up as a baby at his doorstep, brushed him off, brought him inside, and made him a player. Looking at some of the comments there, Connor, when we broke it on the Facebook page, some people giving out, some people saying, one friend of mine actually texted me this morning giving out about it. Bit of snobbery there. You know who you are. I'm sure he's watching this. And yeah, you know, a couple of people raising their nose up a little bit at it, but I think this is a fantastic move for Evan. Before you answer that, what do you think out there in the Roar faithful? Do you think this is a good move for Evan? Are you happy? You sad? Do you care? Let us know in the comments. Sorry, Connor. Go.
First of all, I would like to say, Dave, don't doubt me. I may have said about approximately a month and a half ago, that Evan Ferguson should go to West Ham United. Lo and behold, I've been right yet again. You've been wrong. You probably thought he should have went to the Championship, but do one, Dave. No, I'm
I didn't say you should go to the Championship.
No, I'm only messing with you. But I'm delighted he's gone there now, because there's a lot of misconception about this West Ham team. There's a lot of talent in that side. Obviously, when you look at Brighton, if you look at their team, there's a lot of ball carrier heavy players that are very individuals that like to do it themselves. Thankfully at West Ham, it's a bit more of a team ethos. He has Graham Potter as the gaffer, so he kind of knows what the style of play is, even though they're kind of playing a three at the back at the moment. But usually when you're playing a three at back, you have wing backs that like to whip the ball into the box. He'll go in there, he'll instantly be the main number 9. I think with the talent he has, with the likes of Bowen, Kudus, Paqueta in particular, creating stuff for him, he should score goals for fun. Obviously, his form mightn't be 100% straight away, but I think the main thing is when he goes in there, he kind of starts scoring straight away, even if he's playing terribly all around game wise. Get a few goals, like in terms of builds of confidence, and then everything else will come from there, because he's completely a modern number 9 in terms of the ability to drop deep, pick up the ball, link play, do everything you really need. I'd imagine Graham Potter's absolutely delighted with this. West Ham are still very light in terms of number 9s, because like they have Evan, they have Fulcrook, who I think is currently injured. Antonio's probably gone for foreseeable future. They could probably do it another striker. So it'll be a very pressurized situation for Evan, because West Ham fans like to turn on players easily. I think the only negative is that we'll have to watch him in the London Stadium every week, because it's probably the worst stadium in the Premier League. It's absolutely horrible in my opinion. But I'm happy he's gone there. I know people like to give out about Premier League, this and that, Premier League loans. West Ham's very unpredictable. But Leverkusen out the window, I think we should be somewhat happy. I'm very happy with it, but most people should be somewhat happy that he can go there and make a huge impact.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a good signing. Now, I know when we were talking about him going to West Ham a little while ago, that would have been under the guise of Lopetegui. Now, of course, he's gone and Graham Potter's in. So, yeah, I think it's a great move for him. He's gone to a manager who knows him, and he's going to a manager who rates him and who will play him. I don't think Hertzler has treated him particularly well.
No.
Maybe I'm a bit unkind and a bit biased there. But of course, Brighton weren't exactly in a position to start experimenting. But I don't think they treated him. He was out with an injury, and I don't think they really treated him very well when he came back. He was getting like a couple of minutes here and there. So they, for whatever reason, he clearly didn't rate him, or he probably felt he didn't have the time to sort of ease him back in, because he's in, Brighton are in that, they're in a bit of a precarious position.
Dave, could I just jump in here? Just something for you mightn't even know, and a lot of people might know.
Okay.
I was looking yesterday at Brighton's, because people keep going on about Danny Welbeck this, Danny Welbeck that, because he had a brilliant start of the season and he was doing well and playing over Everton. But if you look at his stats, he hasn't scored a goal in football since October. It's been October since Danny Welbeck scored, and he continues he played over Evan. And I think that's when you know at the stage is kind of like, come on here. Just because you're old, he's older than the manager. Obviously, he is a good footballer in a sense, even he doesn't just score goals, but he's a number 9 at the end of the day. I think it's a big thing when you look at Arsenal, everyone goes about no matter who they play up front, even if they're linking playing, you need a goal scorer. And at the end of the day, Evan is a goal scorer. Like, give him chances. He's not a type of player you look at and be like, he misses loads of chances. You just give him chances and he will score.
Yeah.
So yeah, jump back in there.
Yeah, no, so there you go. So the manager has treated him poorly. I didn't quite, because you always think, well, he was banging in goals for a while there, but yeah, he's treating him poorly. Clearly doesn't rate him for whatever reason. Potter was excellent with Ferguson, and also De Zerbi was excellent with Ferguson. Treat him right, because he knew this guy is going to be a player. We're going to get goals out of him, and eventually it's going to happen. He's going to get us about 100 million there or thereabouts. That I'm sure that was the mindset. Where he does not, I do not know. And they've treated him correctly. So now he's going to go to a manager who rates him, will, I'm sure, get goals out of him, and will treat him right. He is a talent. He is a huge talent, and he's a massive asset for Brighton. I just think the current manager, for whatever reason, he just hasn't treated him. He hasn't warmed to him for, there's no reports of ill discipline or anything like that coming from the camp. It's just maybe the manager just doesn't fancy it. But I think it's a really good move. I'd imagine, Connor, now this hasn't been finalized just yet. He's up in London. He's been there since this morning, we believe, and he's undergoing medical. So it'll probably be announced just after we go off the air here at approximately about 10:30, there or thereabouts, which would be our luck. So, we'd imagine it's going to go ahead and he should be fine. But I'd imagine one of the reasons he's gone to West Ham is that he's probably been promised, and the reason why he's turned down other clubs like Leverkusen, whatever, is that he's probably been promised more playing time than if he had gone to Leverkusen or those other clubs. That's my guess of the situation.
I think it's more the Leverkusen thing was the Victor Boniface situation with the fact he was meant to go to Al Nassr, and then they decided to go ahead with John Duran, which I don't blame them. John Duran simply is probably more talented, and Boniface is very good, but Duran is younger and probably has more upside. But I just think, even on that context, when you go look at a Saudi club, why do you sign John Duran? Other than the fact he's very good, but he's not going to sell tickets. Is that another thing about growing the game in Saudi? And just is completely off topic, but if you're a Saudi club, you think you go for the big names that sells tickets. John Duran, as good as he is and good as the talent he is a Colombian lad that's not named James Rodriguez, really going to sell tickets. But no, the Boniface thing was just Boniface didn't go, so that kind of ruled that deal off the table, which I think that seemed to be the number one choice for all parties, probably because of Xavi Alonso. But they do have Patrick Schick there, who is their main number 9 and is scoring goals. So yeah, West Ham is definitely better for game time wise. And then obviously there was Arsenal and Chelsea were the two other teams that seemed to be in. But Arsenal you can only have 2 players on loan from the Premier League every year, and they already had Sterling and Neto, the goalkeeper from Bournemouth, on loan. And then Chelsea just seemed to be didn't material. Obviously Brighton or whatever way seemed to prefer the West Ham way. But
and of course, if he goes to West Ham, starts banging in goals and starts to show promise, he's a young lad still. You'll start to see. He'll probably go in the summer.
It'll be 100 million again. I've absolutely no doubt. If he goes to the end of the season, he scores 10 goals in the Premier League, the 100 million price tag will be back around, because the fact is Evan Ferguson is that good. He is, in terms of talent, you could argue he's the best under 21 talent of a striker in Europe, because he's just that good. I honestly think that he has the potential to be one of the very, very best in Europe. So Brighton know they're worse with a player, and they know if they get him scoring goals, they could either bring him back next season, Welbeck, because Welbeck could be 35 next season. Will they want Welbeck because they're number 9, or will they want Ferguson sold on for huge money? Because I know they've brought in, I don't know if you've seen, but they're signing a striker from Nuremberg, I believe, a Greek fella, for now to replace Ferguson on a permanent deal. But I couldn't imagine he is on Ferguson's talent wise, because Ferguson's one of the best.
You love your Evan Ferguson, don't you? No, I mean, we're hoping it works out well for him, because it'd be mad though if he does go for a crazy fee and he starts banging goals in for West Ham, because that would really just show the manager there at Brighton, like, well, clearly you haven't got a clue what you do when it comes to this lad, and not being funny,
7-0.
They just lost 7-0. yesterday, and that actually will take us on to our next little bit of news here. Eiran Cashin, of course, he has signed for Brighton from Derby County. You can see him there with the Derby colours on him. He is a centre back. He's 23. A bit of controversy over one of your comments on him, actually, Connor, on the video. You were saying he was 5'9". Apparently 6 foot.
Maybe he is. I thought he looks small. I don't know if he's 6 foot. Maybe that's the thing.
Me.
I don't think he's 6 foot, to be honest. I think he's between
I
5'10",
don't know.
5'11 years.
Put it
But
in
these are what
Google.
people are saying online. The other thing is, Dave, do you ever wonder when these clubs are researching, because there's a lot of these football and the signings go into analytics, particularly with a club like Brighton, would you think that players would like to say, I'm 1 inch taller than I actually am, just to get that extra boost? Because I'm sure you know even if you're a goalkeeper, the difference in 6'1" and 6'2" is taking a big count into it.
According to Google, according to Transfer Market, according to Sky Sports, he's 6 foot.
I don't. Maybe he is 6 foot, but he is small. That's all he need to know.
Look at you. I'm Rep Tracker. I know everything about football. You didn't know that, Martin. Yeah. See, that's why you like Martin. See, folks, that's why he likes Martin on here, because Martin doesn't scrutinize Connor like I do.
It's because you never get a chance, and when you get a chance, the best day of your life.
No, see that I see a lie. You've seen a factual thing over there. I shoot it down. That's what I do. By the way, 15 minutes in. Over 700 watching us live. Thank you very much. On a Sunday night, that is mad. So I think we can agree, Connor. He's 6 foot. No, sorry, it's just somebody commented on the last video that we did, which is available on the YouTube channel, about 5 players we reckon will make their debut. It was before the Joe Fitzpatrick Finn.
Fitzpatrick. You should add a name to him.
Yeah, why not? I think I'm trying to make
him.
No, I think he sounds better. John Joe Patrick Finn, his debut. People were saying, "Why isn't he in this video?" Well, we did it. It was delayed a week because of the storm. Anyway, going back to Eiran Cashin. So, the 6 foot defender, Connor. Yeah. Look at you. You're so pissed. Look at you.
I'm not pissed. No, Joe. Actually, thing is, I had a comment. Actually, I had a comment on one of my. That people were laughing at. Someone sent to me. I didn't even notice it myself. Someone put, yes, a Derby fan. Because I said on the tweet how much of a fan I am of Eiran Cashin, which everyone who listens to this show knows. I've been raving on about him for a while, saying that I have done anything but talk about him, and I've been avoiding talking about him. So that made me giggle. That's someone that, that isn't a Lansdowne ROAR listener anyway, because I've spoken very highly of this lad.
You have. To be fair, Connor has absolutely been raving about this fella. Here he is, £10 million transfer. They've been after him for, 3 windows?
Yeah, 3 windows, yeah.
3 windows, and of course, Brighton lost 7-0 against Nottingham Forest. So it's probably a good time for Eiran to go in, probably the right time. 3 windows have been after this lad. He's a left-footed centre-back, and he is very good on the ball. He's very tidy, and he also... wants to play for Ireland. There's actually a video up there on the Brighton channel, which I forgot to upload. But basically, he says he wants to play for Ireland. So he's born in England, but he wants to play for Ireland. So just to allay any fears there. How happy, though, are you that this lad has finally signed? Will he go straight? Well, he probably will after the 7-0 drubbing at Forest. Do you think he'll go straight in?
Probably not. I wouldn't say so. It's a big leap still coming from the Championship. And the Van Hecke is a good centre half playing right centre back, and Lewis Dunk is club captain. Even though Lewis Dunk has been questionable defensively over the last, I would say, 6 months, a year, but I still think that because of the way Brighton play, they won't want to just bring Cashin in straight away. They'll want to somewhat embed him into the system, get him used to the style of play, because I'm sure as you know, David, it'll be very, very different to what Derby County play, who are a very sit back defensively decent side in the Championship that are a bit more old school in a way. But I think we will see him this season break through. Whether maybe they could even, for example, they might put him at left back like what Man City do with Guardiola, and what other clubs do when they start putting even with Jake O'Brien playing right back. Obviously he's not a left back, but like playing a centre back at full back, which seems to get more common, or even a back three, which we've seen many teams adapt to. But No, I think he's absolutely brilliant. I do think he will break through this season. Whether he will, I think it'll be a big question now whether he gets enough game time by the March international window to break into the Ireland squad, because we have so much talent in the centre half positions. I think the only question now is with just the left centre back. We have himself, we have Liam Scales, and then we have Anselmo Garcia McNulty, who is another option. But I think as long as he's playing in the Dutch league, he's not going to break into the Ireland squad, unfortunately. But I think Eiran Cashin is in for huge things at Brighton, and they probably look at him as someone that they've invested 10 million into, and they'll probably end up selling for at least double the price.
Yeah, no, best of luck to him there as well. And it was nice to see that on the video on the TikTok that I forgot to upload. Actually, probably just as well get done for copyright. But yeah, it was good to see that he really wants to break into the Ireland team. March.
He's not even. By the way, he's not even eligible for England anymore. So I don't think there's, because he's played 3 times to Ireland at the under 21 level, and I've actually seen, if you see on his Instagram, that from his first debut, if someone commented on him, when are you going to switch back to do Declan Rice, and he goes, no, I'm doing the opposite. So
Good boy.
don't worry, Declan, he's ours. Don't worry. And your name's Aaron. You can't not play for Ireland. Your name's Aaron anyway.
Nah, of course not. No. Go. I'll be looking forward to seeing this guy now. I mean, Derby were quite happy. He went down to League One with them, didn't he? And he stayed with them and got them back up. And yeah, look, I think it's time for him to move on to bigger and better things. And no disrespect to Derby, but it's a step up and it's a step in the right direction. So well done, Aaron. We will be keeping an eye on you over the coming weeks and months. Today was also. It was a bit of history, Craig, today, wasn't it? In League 1 for the first time. You had 2 Irish players starting in League 1. I like to say 1. Makes me feel more sophisticated. Together, that was this man here, John Joe Patrick Finn, and, of course, Andrew Amabamadeli for Stade Ram, John Joe, and Strasbourg with Amabamadeli, and they're both 4:15 kickoffs. I watched most of the Ram Nantes game, which Nantes won 2-1 actually, and John Joe making his home debut. I have to say it was a bit of it was a tough one for John Joe. It was his home debut for Stade Ram. It was a very, very tough game. He did quite well against Lyon. Sorry, not Lyon, against at PSG last week. But it was a bit difficult for him today. He for those of you who weren't, didn't get to watch it, we were watching on the League 1 pass. Well, I was watching it legally. But
what are you laughing for? What are you laughing
for? We actually tried to watch it on the one account, didn't we? And I had it on the laptop, you had it on the phone. So yeah, go and log into mine. There's my details. And then it kicked me out of mine. So get out of mine. They know. But yeah, it was quite tough. I found, this is just my take on it. I found it a very tough debut for John Joe. He was doing okay. He was calling for the ball. I like him as a player, but I got to call it as I see it. I'm not running him down. I'm going to give a very honest opinion of how I felt he did today. You could see him demanding the ball. Give me the ball. I want it. And he was doing that for about 5 minutes. And then he lost the ball on the edge of the box, which almost led to a chance for Nantes. And basically, they snuffed it out and it was fine. And you could see after that his confidence receded a fair bit, and also his teammates' confidence receded in him. They wouldn't give him the ball. Like if he was on, they would like, no, you're all right. They passed it that way. I just noticed. His pace. I don't think he's a box to box. He was playing as a box to box player today. I don't think he's not a box to box player in my opinion. He doesn't have the pace for it. When he has the ball at his feet, it is like glue to his foot. He is so good at driving forward, Connor. I know you said it, that he's not a number 6, he's a number 8 really, and I can exactly see why. When he drives forward with the ball, which is something that we've struggled big time as well in the Ireland midfield, he can run forward with the ball and he can cause problems. And he had a couple of nice runs there today, but when he was trying to track back, he got done twice. Once down the wing, albeit by one of the fastest players in League 1, and then the second one, the guy got through one-on-one, and he actually he was deemed to have fouled him, gave away a penalty, got sent off 25 minutes into his debut. And then it was rescinded because it was never a foul, was it? Like we both looked, it was never a foul. And it went back to VAR. And
it was actually very good tracking back, by the way. It was very good to get back to Simon, who actually is very quick, to just outstrength him and push him off the shot.
He did well. To be fair, he did do well. He got done initially, but he recovered well in the end, although a bit sloppy. But yeah, he was very lucky the VAR was on there. It was never a red card. And God knows what I would have done. I would have set him back, I think. If a misplaced, if being caught on the ball sets him back a fair bit, I can only imagine what that would have done. But yeah, I like him, but he didn't do much in the first half. In the second half, there was a couple of decent passages of play, wasn't there? There was one just before he was taken up in the 63rd minute where he drove forward and he played a lovely ball through, didn't he? He threaded a lovely ball through onto the wing, which started an attack. So he's very good with that. I think he's got a lot of potential, Connor, but for me, he's not a box-to-box. He doesn't have the pace for it. His strength is running with the ball, not chasing an attacker down. What say you?
I mostly agree with you there. I do think he has the potential to be a box-to-box midfielder, because I think in the modern day, you kind of have to do a bit of everything. I think his biggest strength is really taking it on the turn and driving with it, as you said, but more from a deeper position. It's not like he's getting the number 10 role and driving into the box. Sometimes it's from just inside his own half or from the halfway line, driving with it into the opposition's half, carrying the ball forward, taking the team up a bit. He is that bit of, if more people have seen more of Boston Dowall's highlights from last season, he would have done a lot of that. I do think Boston's on another level in that sense, because he's in tighter areas. He's a bit more, you don't think he's going to lose the ball at all. But no, I was somewhat impressed with him today. I think he still has a long way to go before we see the very best of John Patrick Finn, and I think he probably knows that himself. Rems, the reality is he broke through at Getafe when he was 17, and they were playing him on the wing and playing him up front, which weren't his best positions. No. And it's been a couple of years of purgatory where he's been waiting for a chance, never got it. Now he's getting full-time minutes in first-team football that you can think and say, yeah, this lad has potential. He's barely played men's football, even though he's 21 and broke through that many years ago. So I think it's still going to be a learning curve from him, what his type of player he really is, and how we can see the best from him, because I think we know now his best thing is driving with the ball from midfield. He is good for big size, 6'4" he'd be. He's not gonna control a game. Like, he's not gonna sit deep and ping passes and do what Josh Cullen does in that sense. But I think besides someone like a Josh Cullen with a bit of physicality and a bit of just drive. But the thing is, last week against PSG, he broke up play a lot, read a lot of things. Today he didn't really do that, but it was kind of a game that both teams tried to bypass the midfield. There was a lot of balls over the top in that sense, and it wasn't really anyone trying to play through the middle. So no, I still think we have a lot more to see from him. Whether he'll do enough between now and March to break into the Ireland team is still yet to be known, but it's a long time to go.
No, I don't think he'd be ready for it. It'd be good to have around. There's a summer camp, go and get him in there. Look, I like him. I think there's a player there. He's got a good football brain. He's technically very good. He can play a simple pass. He can play a simple pass forward. But you are right. There was a lot of bypass. A very poor game of football, actually. Going is shite. If I'm being honest with you, it's dreadful. From what I saw of it today, even in the Strasbourg game, I didn't watch much of that, but like the pitch was an awful state. Like I'm thinking this is supposed to be one of the top leagues, just things like that. But yeah, there was that fella Nakamura. He was good. He was sort of running forward, playing, making mazy runs, finding loads of space. There was so much space. He just had no end product, but he was good at finding the space, but he just had no end product. And you can see he's quite raw, John Joe. Like, you can really see there's some raw talent there. But yeah, look, as you say, he's been missing an awful lot of football. There's a lot of football missing from him at the age of 21. And maybe some other players would have a lot more development ahead of him at that age as well. But I think he's going to be fine. He does have a good football brain, as I said. He seems to be very technically proficient. And he's one that can drive the ball forward, not get rid of it stupidly. Not just lose it or just play a stupid ball. There was a run that he made there today where he just didn't release it, but there wasn't many options around, and he eventually got snuffed out as well. But to be fair, he wasn't exactly playing with quality teammates either, was he?
Yeah.
But anyway, but yeah, Omobama Deli, he made his home debut for no, sorry, it was an away game today, wasn't it? It was first start.
Full debut, yeah.
For full debut, 90 minutes for Strasbourg, but they lost last minute winner. Well, it was 85th minute winner, wasn't it? For Rennes.
Yeah, Rennes. I say Rennes.
Yeah, it was very unfortunate actually. The guy, I don't know how he got it. He just threaded the finish through, didn't he? They're all kind of stood there looking at him. It's like, how did you get that in? But they were happy enough with him, weren't they? The fact, like on social media,
yeah, because when I don't know if you switched over the same time as me, Dave. Basically, when John Patrick came off for Rennes, it's kind of the thing of the game kind of wasn't really. Andrew Omobamidele had nothing really to do when we watched it. Obviously, they scored the goal, but it was nothing through him, and he was playing in the middle of a back three. So I think you just see a couple. I've seen 1-2 tackles from him and a few headers, and nothing seemed to really phase him. He seemed to be just like the game was kind of a nothing game in that sense where he had nothing really to do. But if you look at first half, and I seen what Strasbourg fans were saying, they were saying that he was their best defender and he was playing brilliantly. Obviously, unfortunately, we missed that part, but he seems to be making a keen impression straight away, and they're a huge fan of him already. And it seems like Strasbourg have now switched to have 3 at the back. They were playing 4 at the back. Now they've gone to 3 since they've made Andrew their new signing. So no, it seems like he's settled in very fast, and they're huge fans of him.
No, absolutely. Actually, just not just on Andrew, just one thing on John Joe. Sorry, before we move it on to Oibig. What I will say about him as well, with his passing, he's a very crisp passer, isn't he? Left foot and right foot. He's got that zip in his passing. You know, the one that just sort of boom, flies along, which we haven't had probably since Robbie Brady, and I think you said Andrew Moran and Andy Moore. Finazaz, yeah. So he's a very good passer of the ball. But yeah, Andrew Omobamidele, look, he's a very good ball playing centre back as well, and he'll do very well on the continent. He didn't do much wrong, and he wasn't really at fault for the goal anyway.
He's a brilliant player. Like, we all know he's very good. Even when he played for Forest, he didn't never looked out of place in the Premier League. It was just he wasn't getting the minutes he deserves. So he's going to be a top player, and we all rate him very highly. So the more he plays, he'll be a huge addition to the Ireland squad. And
it's brilliant. And you know, it's mad, isn't it? Like, it's really cool to actually sit here on a Sunday and lash on Liga, and you got 2 Irish players playing at the same time. It's lovely. It's lovely to see it. So that
Dave, I think we forgot to talk about. We should have had as a news topic is Festi going to Istanbul Başakşehir.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. I came to there because I was thinking, with all these centre backs, could he potentially go to a back 3? Because we have Collins and O'Shea playing very well. Even though they're losing, he's playing well in the Premier League, and obviously Andrew's doing well now in France, and now we've Cashin, we've Scales. He's not really playing as much as you want, but and we've McGuinness as well, who's doing very well. So no, but I was just thinking because of back 5 and Festi playing on the right. So but what do you think of Festi going to Istanbul Başakşehir? I think he's injured for the time being, but they must have a lot of faith in him if they've went and signed him probably without doing a medical in that sense, because usually when a player's injured, you can't really do a medical.
I think he's moving far too often for my liking. Now, I know there's reasons for that. And Udinese are a bit of a strange club. You know, like, I mean, they've got that relationship with Watford. Because apparently, and I was talking to a friend of mine who is a Watford season ticket holder. She was telling me that, we have a new goalkeeper. Guess what club he's from? Udinese. Yes, he is. So I don't know what's going on there. He's moving far too often, to be honest with you. I'd like him to be at a club that will treat a young player well. He's got a build. He's got a talent. He's got talent. He's tenacious. He's a bit of a rascal on the pitch, which is what I like. That goal against Finland was so bold, you know. It's just, there's a bit of space. I'll just go through them, and you know, he set up that goal. I like that about Festi, but you know, there was reports of discipline issues, which is never good. Not from a young player. Never good. And you're hearing that with a few Irish young lads, by the way. We've heard that with a few players, and that's something that I'm not particularly liking to hear, because you never really heard that from Irish players. We're the other way. You know, we have a reputation for hard work, discipline, and you would always see most clubs, you would see an Irish captain because of that work ethic. So I'm not really liking that side of things. I know you were on the Watford podcast a while ago on YouTube there talking about that. So I'm a bit worried about that. I don't know. I mean, he's the first ever player to play in the Turkish Super League. I'd imagine the best days of Turkish football, when Turkish clubs were a force, I got a test for Fenerbahce, are long gone. So I'm not sure what the standard is over there. But look,
It's not that. I think it's probably as good as the Championship, like in that sense, because
you reckon?
teams like Fenerbahce, Galatasaray are still playing in the Champions League, the top levels, and I know Istanbul Başakşehir nearly lost to St. Pat's in the last round of qualifying for the Conference League, but that's St. Pat's side that were probably underestimated by Istanbul, and Stephen Kenny, as you know, what he's done in Europe with these clubs is out of this world, really. But no,
Yeah.
I think he will do really, because I'd imagine he's on very good money there, because Başakşehir, I think, are a very new club in the Turkish league. I don't remember if you remember them beating Man United under Solskjaer about 5 years ago. Demba Ba scored for them.
Well, a lot of clubs beat United around that time.
Still do, but no, I don't think it's a terrible move, because he'll probably be on good money, and it's a career at the end of the day, and you want to make as much money playing at the highest level. He's playing at a good level. It's still a springboard. If he's playing every week as their right wing back, which I see they play a 5 at the back, and if he's playing every week as the wing back, doing well in a good league, it's not like he's going to Saudi. He will do very well, and I don't think it's a horrible thing, because at most, I'd say he'll probably be there for 2 seasons, and it could maybe give him a springboard to get back, maybe to Serie A, or going to even the Premier League if he does really well, or a top Championship club. So I'm not too annoyed by the move. It's still a strange move at the end of the day, because an Irish lad never goes to Turkey. But I wish him the best of luck, and I still think he will probably do extremely well there, and he will be a fan favourite there, I've no doubt, because the way he plays, he gets everyone off their seat.
Yeah, look, I mean, by all means, I wish any Irish player best of luck. I'm looking at that. It's more of is it a forward step? No, it's a bit of a sideways move. You want to be at a club, you want to be settling on a club, doing it at a club, and then taking a step up, doing it.
The
at
thing
that
I'd
club
say,
and then-
Dave, is he was at Udinese, who at the end of the day, he was on loan, so they had a recall option. They recalled him from the loan to sell him. So like they could have recalled him and said to him, you can't, either you're staying here at Udinese at the end of the season, rotting away, not playing, or we'll sell you to Istanbul Başakşehir, because I think he was enjoying himself, even though he didn't do as much as we want him to do. And Watford fans actually loved him. They thought he was excellent and thought he should have been playing every week. But I do think there could have been something that Udinese were just like, we're recalling you, and because he was injured anyway, it's like you can either go there and go to a new club, or you can just sit here and rot on the bench, or like not even make the bench.
It depends what the injury is, and depends how long he's out for. But it also, it's a case of, well, look, Watford don't want you, we don't really want you, we're going to sell you, because for whatever reason they don't want him. For whatever reason, good or bad, I do not know why. They clearly don't want him. Otherwise, if they wanted him, he wouldn't be at Watford. And then Watford said, well, we don't really want you. And now he's had to, we knew he was going to be leaving the club anyway, because he's had issues there. Tom cleverly came out and said he's not training hard enough, and then he's, well, okay, we'll go to Turkey. I don't think it's I don't think it's a good move for. Look, I mean, I suppose it's a good move that there's no other options open for him to get regular football. But then the question has to be asked, kind of, why isn't he getting regular football? Why do Udinese not want him? I see him playing for Ireland, and I think this guy's good. He's a good player.
Really. He was the best player. Remember, never forget the first half against England. As good as we lost, he was the best player on the pitch. He was the most impactful player on both sides of sides.
So I think there's nothing wrong with his ability, but so why doesn't anyone want him? It's got to be down to discipline. It's got to be down to attitude. It has to be. I don't know him.
He's not a bad lad, because everything I've heard, he's actually meant to be a really, really nice fella. So it's obviously,
I'm sure he is.
There could be just discipline off the pitch in terms of maybe he's turning up late to training, or he's not working hard enough in drills, etc. But no,
you can't do that. You have to train. I've never played. Look, I'm not a professional footballer. I never have been. But even I know you have to train as you play. You have to give it 100%, because the manager isn't going to take a chance on you. He is going to go by the standards. He sets the standards, the coach, and if you're not adhering to those standards, you're not going to play. I just think it's worrying, and I've seen it more often than I would like to see it, especially with the Irish lads, the young Irish lads. I don't want to start going through the players. We know who they are, because don't want to start running them down, especially as one has really turned it around, which is excellent. So I'm a bit worried by it. You know, is it money? Is it a young guy in London? I get it. Watford, like it's London. You're just down the road. It's a hell of a place if you're young and you got cash on the hip, as you say in this part of the world. There's a lot of temptation out there. I don't know. I'm just casting aspersions there, but anyway. But listen, I wish him the best of luck. I really do. I'm a bit worried. I'm a bit concerned, and I'm not saying England is the be all and end all, but Turkey. I don't know. But yeah, no, you're right. We should have spoken about that. You got some more comments coming in there, guys. We're past 1,000 of the wonderful Raw faithful watching us here. We really
on a bank holiday Sunday. But, you don't have it in your country. Just if anyone's new, and Dave isn't actually Irish with his British passport, but we have a bank holiday in Ireland tonight, so people are probably out on their bank holiday enjoying themselves. Plus, I'm torturing myself talking to you, but so it's a bank holiday here. So thanks to everyone who's tuned in a bank holiday, because everyone probably could have better things to be at.
I didn't realize it was bank holiday, actually. Yeah, but yeah, that's amazing. I'm on holiday tomorrow. You will not have me live when we are live tomorrow. I will not be on it, so I probably shouldn't have said that because the ratings will plummet. But January transfer window deadline day episode, Martin and Connor will be on that. I will be in Brighton. I have a week off. I'm doing nothing at all.
Cheerio. But Dave, actually have a question for you and for all the Roar faithful who want to put a comment in. Who's the one player between now and tomorrow at 11 o'clock we still want to move? Is it Gavin Bazunu? Is it even Ryan Manning, who was left out at the weekend? Who else is there? Like Theodore Mola, we Sean Rowan, young lads, under 21 lads we want to move, because there's still plenty of time left. Bazunu's the big one. Everyone probably wants to get a loan move, but who else do you think?
Bazunu's the big one, of course. I mean, he won't be our number one in March. That's for definite. No disrespect, but he just won't be. Even if he was playing, it still wouldn't be. Yeah, it'd be him. Of course, yeah, Ryan Manning. I had noticed that on iBig, which we're going to do in a second. I'm thinking, okay, new manager, of course, clearly doesn't fancy him. He needs to get out of Southampton and start playing regularly, even at championship level, which he's a good player, especially championship level. I think he's a decent player, but especially Southampton, like, although they did win, he finally won.
The thing is, Manning's actually played well when he's played this season, Dave. He's actually done well. There's been a lot of games he's actually looked like he's stepped up the level he's going at. Like because technically he is excellent, so he seems to have like carried it over. But I think it's just the defensive liability at times, unfortunately, with
he's no pace.
Yeah, he just gets.
He's no pace. Yeah, you have to have pace in the Premier League. You have to be quick-minded and you have to be quick-footed in the Premier League.
Because I could imagine him in the Spanish league doing very, very well.
Yeah, or even the Dutch league or somewhere like that where you don't have to.
I think he's like, because he's a really good player. Like I could imagine him easily going to La Liga. Obviously not going to a top La Liga club, but going to a decent La Liga club that. Because they're all technically very good, and he is excellent. Like in terms of technical ability in Southampton, he's probably one of the more technically efficient players. It's just the position he plays and the quality on the right hand side in the Premier League, and it could just be a liability at times, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, it isn't looking, but hopefully he gets a move anyway. Just get him back playing a bit of football. He's our only proper left back. Although we don't know who's going to come in March. But yeah, him and definitely Bazunu. Would like to see those lads getting a decent move. Just before actually we go into iBig, guys, please, if you haven't already and you're watching, hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much. We're trying to get to 2,000 followers on our YouTube channel before the window. That's our goal. But we'd obviously like to surpass that. And if you haven't already, please do like the video. Right, we're going to get in some iBig and then we'll get on to the questions. Are you ready, Connor?
I'd like to think so.
I hope so. Sitting there like a bond. You just need a cat. Just stroking the cat. Anyway, right, let's get into the goalies. Of course, as always, Connor, if I get something wrong, which I'm sure I will, you will correct me with joy and glee. Right, here are the goalies. Creevin Keller, an unused sub for Liverpool in their 2-0, excellent 2-0 win at Bournemouth. Mark Travers, will play Monday with Middlesbrough, we hope. Max O'Leary, 90 minutes in a 1-1 draw with Oxford for Bristol City. Josh Keeley, 90 minutes in a 1-0 loss against Stockport County for Leyton Orient. And Gavin Mizuno, well, they played Tuesday, the Southampton under-21s. I'm not sure if he played the other day.
He was actually, I meant to say he was with the squad yesterday, actually, at Ipswich. He wasn't one of the keepers' name, but he was actually traveled with the squad and did the warm-ups or such. So it was actually a decent step forward. Hopefully that doesn't mean he's staying at the club because he's not registered in the Premier League. But
I was going to say,
no, he was with the squad, so he played with the 21s. Remember that save that's going viral of that save he made against Chelsea, which honestly is one of the best saves I've ever seen. I'm not taking a piss here. It is absolutely outrageous. It's funny, I shared it last weekend, and then all of a sudden 2 days ago it absolutely exploded with people around whatever seeing the video. But it's mad. It's mad.
Disruptor, kind of, you're an influencer.
No, it's not, because my video didn't go viral. It was people posting it a week later. So disappointing that people didn't pick up on Rep Tracker posts. So.
Bastards. You bastards. I wasn't sure if he played in that game a couple of days ago, the under-21s. I couldn't find any team sheet information. I don't want to spread any false news, but so I just said, you know what, maybe he'll play with the under-21s. So maybe he won't on Tuesday. And hopefully he does get that move. Fine.
If he plays on Tuesday, then that means he's stayed.
True. Very true. And hopefully he hasn't. He needs game time. Right. Let's move on to the defenders. Seamus Coleman not in the squad. Nothing else for me to say about that. Darrell O'Shea, 90 minutes and 2-1 loss against Southampton. God, how shit are Ipswich. Nathan Collins, 90 minutes and 2-0 loss against Spurs. We'll talk about that in a minute. Liam Scales, 6 minutes and a 3-1 win over Motherwell for Celtic today. Shane Duffy, 90 minutes and a 1-0 win over Watford for Norwich City. Mark McGuinness, 90 minutes and a 1-1 draw with Sheffield Wednesday for Luton Town. Callum McDowd, 90 minutes and a 7-0 loss against Leeds. Matt Doherty, 90 minutes and a 2-0 win over Aston Villa. God, for Wolves in the derby there. Jacob Ryan, 90 minutes, right back again in a 4-0 win over Leicester for Everton. Has to be in the squad. Ryan Manning, as we said, not in the squad for Southampton. Will he be at Southampton past tomorrow? Andrew Amabamadeli, 90 minutes and a 1-0 loss against Rennes, Strasbourg. Robbie Brady, injured again for Preston North End. Jimmy Dunn, not in the squad for QPR. More on that in a second. John Egan, an unused sub for Burnley. Eiran Cashin, not in the squad. A new signing for Brighton. And Samuel Garcia McNulty, 90 minutes in a 3-3 draw with Utrecht for FC Zol. And Will Ferry, 90 minutes in a 1-0 loss against Kilmarnock for Dundee United. And James Abanqua, 90 minutes in a 1-0 loss against Norwich for Watford. God, they were just in the playoff places and they're just going flying down.
In fairness, I got a red card after about 10 minutes, which isn't a good way to start a game.
Cardiff, yeah, especially when you're shit.
No, I thought you meant Watford. Sorry, because Abanqua.
Oh, Watford. Okay. Yeah. No, but Watford were they were like sixth a couple of weeks ago, and then he lost to Cardiff, I think, at home. And he just haven't recovered since. Just on there, Jimmy Dunn. So we reckon he's going to Borough, don't we?
No, it was Sheffield United, but I've seen actually something just before we went on that QPR, because there's 6 months left in his deal, it's up in June, that they want 3 million for him, which is a lot for a championship player. But I think he could end up staying at this stage because it looks like they want too much money for him, unless he goes and tries to force a move through. But it was interesting that he wasn't in the squad yesterday. Maybe his head was swayed a bit, but I think he'll probably end up staying with the reports that they want 3 million, because I'd imagine Sheffield United don't want to pay anywhere near that for someone outside of contract.
Yeah. Seamus Coleman, is he injured, is he?
I think so. He was back. He was back training actually last week. So I don't know whether he just wasn't picked for this, because I know Ashley Young was back at the weekend and Patterson came on after a while. And I think O'Brien went back over the centre half, I believe. I don't quote me on that, but I think that's what happened. So they were the two right backs in the squad. So I don't know whether Coleman just they're building up his fitness and training because he's always an injury worry. He's always been one of them ones anyway, but or he just wasn't selected. I think he's more highly rated than Ashley Young as a right back anyway, because I think we all agree that Seamus Coleman is better than Ashley Young as a right back.
Even though they're both nearly 70. Jacob Ryan, right back again. He's doing the job. They haven't lost a game since he's started there. No, sorry, I think he lost the first game.
No, I think they have a 100% win record. Because I think I said it last weekend, celebrating about his 100% win record as a
That's right.
Premier League player.
Yeah, he
And
didn't
he's
play the
continued that.
first game, did he? Like the who was it he played? It was Moyes' first match back. It was at Goodison Park, but he played the next game and he hasn't looked back. He's done really well as a right back.
I think he played, was it Villa or someone that they beat? And then they beat Brighton away last weekend, and then they won yesterday against Leicester. So they have a 100% win record with
Amazing.
O'Brien as the centre of it all, because he's probably the greatest player to ever play football, seeing as he's a 100% win record. There's not many like him out there, and another clean sheet.
Yeah, just like Sam Allardyce, 100% record as England manager. Right. And anything else there from the defenders before we move on?
It's a bit worrying that Liam Scales is now becoming more of a sub option, and I know he started against Aston Villa the other night, but I could see him getting phased out of the Celtic team eventually. And listen, I think Eiran Cashin's a better player, being honest, but he scored against Finland. He's actually, in fairness, people actually might. Scales is suspended for the first game against Bulgaria, isn't he? Because he got sent off against England.
That's
So
true, yeah.
would that be a question of, will we bother call up Liam Scales in March? Are we better off bringing in a centre half that can feature in both games, or do you have to stay loyal to Scales?
I think with Scales, I don't think he's an international, if I'm honest with you. I know it's a controversial opinion. I
actually don't. Being honest with you, I don't think it's that controversial. A lot of people share that thought. I think a lot of people are very happy for Liam's. I think the thing of people are very happy for him that he's, because no one would have ever predicted 3-4 years ago that Liam Scales would be playing for Ireland's senior squad, or even making it at Celtic when he was on loan at Aberdeen. But his turnaround in his career has been brilliant, and see him play for Ireland is absolutely brilliant. Scored that equaliser against Finland, which we can't forget, and he has always done all right for Ireland. Like, he's never been terrible. Obviously, give away that penalty, but I wouldn't really put that all on him. But
but if you got a full complement, he doesn't get it. You know,
definitely doesn't get in the starting 11. It's just whether do you think he's one of the better backup options?
Yeah, you got Eiran Cashin, and if he's as good as you say he is, and he's more technically gifted, and now he's going to be hopefully playing in Brighton, who are a decent side, even though they got absolutely battered by Forest yesterday. You know, I think I think he's unfortunate, but yeah, I think he'll start to phase out a bit now at Celtic. I see he had a mare against Rangers a few weeks ago, didn't he? And they were kind of calling for his head a little bit. And
the problem is Trusty's just so bad. If any Celtic fans will know, Trusty's terrible. So it's kind of like, even though Scales had that mistake, he got the chance to make up for it.
Yeah, that's fair. We'll move it on to the midfield. Josh Cullen, 90 minutes and another 0-0 for Burnley against Portsmouth. Jason Knight, 90 minutes and a 1-1 with Oxford for Bristol. Jason Lumby, 27 minutes and a goal and a 2-1 loss against Plymouth. Finnazaz, they play Monday against Sunderland. Andy Moore, 30 minutes and a goal and a 2-1 win over Hull for Stoke City. Good man, Andy. Jack Taylor, 30 minutes and a 2-1 loss against Southampton for Ipswich. Jamie McGrath, he is still injured. Will Smallbone, 34 minutes and 2-1 win against Ipswich for Southampton. Good man, Will. Alan Brown plays Monday, but I think he's still injured, actually. Not too sure with him. Mark Sykes, 90 minutes and a goal and 1-1 draw with Oxford United for Bristol. Luke O'Connell, 4 minutes in a 0-0 draw with Burton Albion. Boston Lawal, unused sub for Stoke City. He's back on the bench. Conor Coventry, 90 minutes and a 2-2 draw with Blackpool. That's for Charlton. And Rockavata out injured for Watford. And John Joe Patrick Finn, 63 minutes and a 2-1 loss against Nantes for Stade Rennes, which we covered earlier on in the podcast. Any comments there in the midfield? Anything that
King Andy is back. Our star boy has risen again with a brilliant goal. I don't know if you've seen his goal. Lovely touch. And then onto a volley he hit into the top corner was brilliant. I put on the last half an hour of the whole game against Stoke to see Andy Moore, and then I seen hopefully future international Louis Barry's first appearance for Hull, who looked all right. But I think we'll see him start the next game for Hull. But yeah, Andy done well. And the Stevens actually is for like a forgotten man in Irish football, probably because of age. Retton I actually thought he played well for Stoke. Technically very good and cool and composed on the ball. It's a pity still not to see Boston get minutes yet, but hopefully it's only a matter of time. And who else was I going to speak about there? And Mark Sykes, actually, his goal was absolutely outrageous. It was a brilliant finish. So no, it's good to see a lot of. I think maybe a month ago we were going through the midfielders, and I think 50% of them are injured. So a lot of them, other than Alan Brown, really, and G. McGrath, who seems to be out for the rest of the season, are fully fit, or not fully fit, but like fit enough to play.
Nice. Breaking news in the last 32 minutes, by the way, guys. Sky Sports News have said that Evan Ferguson has now passed and completed his medical, with a formal announcement on news expected to be tomorrow on deadline day. So Evan Ferguson will become a West Ham player tomorrow on loan to the end of the season. That has broken through. There you go, Connor. Sorry, just had to cut across there. I've been checking the background just to make sure, like, if anything's announced. So he will be announced on loan tomorrow. I must actually talk to my brother-in-law. He's a West Ham fan. Bless him. But yeah, no, the midfield there. I didn't see any of those goals. Sorry. Doing my best for you there, Connor. Yeah, you see, Connor. What's the lad's name? I've had a complete brain fart. The guy at Burnley.
Josh Cullen.
Josh Cullen. Yeah, sorry, had a complete brain fart. I'm on holiday mode, folks. I'm on my Holliers. Josh Cullen, yeah, 0-0 draw. Burnley are sort of boring their way to the playoffs, or maybe automatic promotion.
Scott Parker's such a bored manager. He has them playing like robots in his one way of football that never changes, and it's so boring to watch. Obviously, they have a good side and that they play good football, but Jesus Christ, they are boring to watch. Like, every time a good championship team seems to play each other, they all seem to shit themselves. I want to go back into this negative football where we don't want to take any risks, and I just try not to concede. And the only chance of a goal is when a team really makes a mistake or like a penalty or something. But no, they're a very boring side to watch these days.
I mean, Portsmouth are no great shakes either. Like, you can understand, like Leeds. I think they're league leaders at the moment. Them and between them, Sheffield United and Burnley, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you can understand boring yourself again, trying to take 2 points off of Leeds. But against Portsmouth, really? I think that's the problem, isn't it? When you try to play the style of football, yeah, it makes sense to do it against the big boys. But then you find yourself doing it all the time, and that's when you start to drop off. You start to really lose. You're losing 2 points a game, really, because you're playing for a draw before a ball is kicked. But anyway, that's the midfield. Let's move on to the attackers. Evan Ferguson, 17 minutes and 7-0 loss against Nottingham Forest. Troy Parr, 64 minutes and a goal and a 2-0 win over William Tway. And Amida, 79 minutes and a goal and a 3-1 win over Motherwell. Tom Cannon, 78 minutes and an assist in a 1-0 win over Derby for Sheffield United. Sami Smodic still injured, a major doubt for March. Festy Abaselli not in the squad. He's a new signing for Istanbul. Casey McAteer, no new sub for Leicester City. Mikey Johnson, 63 minutes and 2-1 loss against Plymouth for West Brom. Chidozie Ogbeni still out injured for Ipswich. They are really missing him at the moment. Callum Robinson, 90 minutes and 7-0 loss against Leeds United for Cardiff. Michael Obafemi, 20 minutes in a 2-1 win over West Brom. Plymouth still, starting to show a bit of life at the bottom of the championship. Aaron Connolly, a goal for Millwall, and 89 minutes in a 2-1 win. Sinclair Armstrong, 45 minutes subbed on and off for Bristol. Tyler Goodrum, 17 minutes and a 1-1 draw against Bristol City for Oxford United.
By the way, you make that look so horrible on Sinclair. But he actually played well. He won the free kick that led to the goal. Just so if anyone didn't have context, because I was watching that game. Bristol City were down to 9 men, and in the 90th minute they were trying to hold out, so they took Sinclair off for a defensive midfielder just to shore up things at the back, so not to. Because the way that people probably think it is that when someone plays so badly that they take him back off, but no, it was just.
Are you accusing me of gaslighting, Connor? Is that what it?
I am.
You
not my vice, Sinclair. You can't disrespect him.
I just put it out there, and I knew you'd correct it. I just put it out there and say why.
At least you got the minutes right today. That's the first time you've got Sinclair's minutes right.
Yeah. Okay. And how tall is Sinclair?
Don't ask me. You're the facts man.
I won't be asking you. That's for sure.
Yeah.
A decent.
A lot of boys scoring.
A lot of lads scoring there. Troy Parrott again. Adam Hyde, of course, scored 2 in quick succession, although it was albeit academic, against Aston Villa in the Champions League during the week as well. He scored again. Troy Parrott doing the business again. So it's really promising this. Although Sammy Smodic out injured, he's a big doubt, isn't he, for March?
Yeah, I'm not one that believes that it's the end of the world by Sammy Smodic. I know a lot of people like to say that without him we're not as good, but I still think there's a lot of lads can make from him. He can play on the left wing first. He can play as a number 10, but we have Mikey Johnson on the left. We have Rocco Vata on the left. We have Finn Azaz as a 10. We have Andy Moore as a 10. Obviously, Sammy Smodic's goal scoring record is obviously very good. Well, not really for Ireland. He hasn't scored any, but in general, he's a good goal threat and he works very hard. He's runs he makes are good, but like if we're going to play him even we've played him as a 9. We have Ida, we have Parrott, we have Ferguson, we even have Connolly back scoring goals now. We have Tom Cannon's assist actually was absolutely brilliant. I don't know if you've seen it. He put it on a plate for Brereton Diaz. It was superb. And actually just on Connolly, it's absolutely brilliant to see him back shining and playing very well. It's not just he's scoring a goal. He got his first goal. He's playing. His all-round game is very good. I watched him on Monday night, I think it was, against Portsmouth, and he was probably the best player on the pitch. He should have got an assist if anyone's seen it. He literally took a man on, beat him, squared across the box. The boy missed an open goal. So no, Aaron Connolly's been playing excellently. He can play up front. He can play on the left. Very versatile, which we all know. So if he keeps up this form, he's going to really put him in himself with a chance of getting a recall to the Ireland squad, which would be, as much as some people dislike Connolly, it would be a great story to come where he's come from with his problems with alcohol, not focused on football through outside distractions, and he's gone through a lot of trouble, and he seems to really have turned it around, which I think we're all delighted to see. It's always a good story when someone turns their life around like that.
Yeah, it is really fantastic stuff, and fair play to him. He took it well also. I need to change the graphic. I'll do that this week on my holiday off, guys. I'll upgrade some of the graphics and some of the ages, as been pointed out to me there. But see, that's what I like about the Roar Faithful. You tell us where we go wrong, and we correct it most of the time. Right, shall we get into the comments? Connor, are you ready for the comments?
I can already see Rolling Stone is ready to go.
He was ready before we went live.
He's took over the comments again.
Jesus.
I love the enthusiasm, though. I love the enthusiasm.
He's part of where he wants to or not. Rolling Stone, you're part of the Roar Faithful. Right, let's get into it, guys. Here are your comments. Actually, no, before I do that, just a reminder. We've just got over 1,100 of you guys watching us here. Now we're into it on a Sunday, bank holiday Sunday. That is absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for your support. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button down below. Tell your friends about it. Tell them what it's all about here. It's Irish football's most interactive podcast. We're live every Sunday, most Sundays. We'll be live again tomorrow. Do not forget, Connor and Martin will have the very latest. We'll have all the Irish transfers there for you. January transfer window deadline day 2025. That will be live, same place, same bat time. No, different bat time, 9:30, same bat channel, YouTube, Twitter, and of course Facebook. So do join the lads for that. And you can get it all here on YouTube. Just hit that subscribe button. And if you wouldn't mind, please do like the video. It really does help. We're trying to get 2,000 subscribers before we kick off in Bulgaria. Help us get to that, folks. We're trying to grow the channel. The more we grow the channel, the more content we'll put out there. Because, we're not going to put content out there if no one sees it. Just going to be brutally honest about it. So we're trying to get those numbers up. So thank you very much for your support. You are wonderful, lovely people out there. And don't forget to subscribe to the Facebook, Instagram, and of course the Twitter. And don't forget to give Connor a follow over on Rep Tracker if you want to know what's going on with the latest boys and girls in green. He's on Twitter and he's also on Facebook. Right. Whew. Let's get into the comments. All right, let's kick it off here. Here's number one. Oh, actually, it's not. It's done this weird thing with the comments again, where you've just got what a time is a weird time. It's like 3:55 in the morning.
It's just a different country.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But here we go. Jay Myler. Am I saying that right? Jay Mala. How you doing, Jay? Lads, just had a look in the Everton forums. Jacob Ryan getting a lot of love. Great to see. I mean, it's true though, isn't it? Like, you're Sean Dyche. Sean Dyche is a good manager. And I remember when Sean Dyche was fired and he put David Moyes in charge. And I said it to the writers group. I don't really see what the point is in sacking him for David Moyes. And yeah, here's David Moyes. He's gone in, he's turned it around, and he's just made some sensible decisions. He has seen Jacob Ryan as a right back, and he's done the business. He's doing the business for him right now. So a lot of comments were going, hold on a second, Sean Dyche, how could you not see this lad as a right back? And you paid, what was it, £17 million for him? He never played a minute of Premier League football. And there he is doing the business. It's fantastic for young Jake, isn't it?
100%. Sorry. I was just going onto the video on YouTube to make sure it was all working, but yeah, I'm absolutely delighted for him, and he's shown a bit of versatility that we never thought he would have had playing as a right back. So long may it continue, and even if he has to keep playing at right back until the end of the season, it's a lot better than rotting away on the bench.
Yeah, 100%. He's doing really well, and I'm much to I don't really like Everton. I'd like to see him go down, but it's probably not going to happen now. Brilliant. Thanks a lot, David Moyes. Val Maguire, why can't we have League of Ireland players? First of all, how you doing, Val, over there on Twitter? Yet again, send us 3:55 in the morning, so I don't know where you are, but thank you for watching and welcome. Do you mean for Ireland or just in general? Well, I mean, we have to be realistic. We have to go with players that we think have we go with players that we think have a chance of actually playing for Ireland. No disrespect to
No, but not in that sense, Steve, because that would mean we don't mean potential. We mean at present. Not because when you say lads, we don't mean like the likes of Mason Media. Obviously, he's one we think could eventually break into the Ireland squad, but not anytime soon. Like, we mean lads that are on the radar right now that could break into the squad in the next 2-3 months. In that sense.
Yeah, I mean it's only so many hours in a day, and so that's why. Rolling Stone. Watch some of VAT on YouTube. Looks a promising player. What stands out about him is skill on the ball, and he seems to be a thinking player. Know what he wants to do with the ball before he receives it, and he certainly has a great shot in him, an eye for a goal. So well, there you go. He was
slagging Rocco Vata off for weeks, and he's just only first watched some.
You've convinced him.
Highlights. No, but he has never watched him. He kept going up. Ben Doak's the best player I've ever seen in my life. Ben Doak's the star boy, and he was comparing Ben Doak to a lad he'd never watched, which I think is not fair. If you only first watch him, Rolling Stone is a bit unfair, but at least he's come on the side and he realizes how good Rocco is, because I think he's right in saying that his eye for goal is superb, and he's a top player.
Well, it's not all good.
Oh, Jesus.
Hold on. Sorry, we'll get to you, Darren, in a second. Sorry. Outside, he lacks pace, so I don't know if he will make it in the Premier League. Might be another Philongdi.
He means Philogene that signed for Villa, and now he's at Ipswich. But just to respond to that, I think Philogene, you're a bit early saying that he only just signed for Villa in the summer, and he still is making it in the Prem. Like, he went to Ipswich there for decent money, and he's probably going to be one of Ipswich's key players for the running. And I don't think Vata lacks pace at all. He's just he's not like he's, I don't know, festy quick, but it's not like he's slow off the mark, or he's not unathletic in that sense. So I don't know if you think the same, Dave.
Vata.
Yeah.
I haven't seen enough of him, to be honest with you. I'll hold my hands up there, folks. Rolling Stones again. Moran, he had a great cameo from the bench, scored a goal, but I've seen quite a lot of him, and he reminds me of Elliott from Liverpool. That's a good thing. Yes, that is a good thing, isn't it? Harry Elliott is a very good player. And then he goes here, Rolling Stones, when he starts the game, he struggles to get into it. So there you go. So we've gone through a few Rolling Stones comments there. We'll now go on to some others. Darren Hartnett. Good evening, lads. I cut the live. Great to hear from you both. Good man, Darren. One of the Roar faithful, watching us every week, and it's great to hear from you as well. Great to hear from all of you, by the way. Colm Hanley, bit of a broader question here. What's your opinion on Heimer Hallgrimsson? Go on, Connor. You can go with this one first.
He's a legend. I love Heimer.
I love Heimer.
He's going to qualify us for the World Cup, so I love him. Do you love him?
From what I've seen of him, yeah. I think, Colin, I've noticed a progression per window. I know it sounds funny because the last game we played, we got beaten 5-0 by England, but we know why. Down to 10 men, penalty. Very brittle confidence, very brittle mentality amongst that group of players, and that is something that Heimer is up against. So he started with a group on the negatives. A very brittle side, bereft of confidence, and I think he's done well so far. I've seen progression. What I see with Heimer is a diligent, competent, very good coach, and I think with diligent and competent coaching, you can get something out of these players because I think it's inside, and he's starting to do that. So yeah, I like what I've seen so far, but we need to see how he gets, and he hasn't had them for very long either. And he didn't have them for a camp. His first game with them was against England. One of the best teams in the world. I know we hate to say it, but they are. And of course, that was the game at home where we lost 2-0. And you saw us get stronger and better. You see what he's trying to do. But it's going to take a little bit of a while. But hopefully with a camp under his belt with them in June, you'll see a massive improvement for September. PR, and what are the chances of Ferguson starting against Chelsea? When did they play?
I don't think they have a game for a while because it's FA Cup. Someone said it's like 13 days, 12 days. So probably a good chance then because it's not like he's unfit in that sense. Obviously, he hasn't played in a while with injury, but it's not been a long-term injury. So he should. You'd like to hope he will start.
He won't play. That's tomorrow.
Oh, that's tomorrow's game. Oh no,
yeah.
Then he can't. No, he can't play because he played yesterday and he wasn't registered in time anyway.
He's not going to do George Weah. Anyone here remember? Do you remember George Weah?
I know George Weah is, but I don't know the story you're going to dive into here.
So George Weah had literally just signed for Chelsea, and they flew him to the ground, drove him to the ground, and he registered him. He wasn't even in the ground by the time they registered him. Literally got him in a taxi, got him in all his gear, threw him onto the bench, threw him on, and he scored like a last-minute winner.
I think that's not possible anymore, TF, anyway, because of I think Premier League rules. You have to be registered by I think it's 12 on the Friday or something like that. Like so,
I know, but that's why
it would be pretty cool if he done that.
Yeah, it was when football was fun, not like this shit we watch now. So to answer your question, PR, he won't play tomorrow. He'll only be announced tomorrow, and yeah, during the FA Cup though, did he have a game in the FA Cup coming up?
I don't think they're playing. He could be cup tied as well.
Oh yeah, good, couldn't he? West Ham fixtures. Let's have a quick look. They are at home to Brentford. So they play Chelsea tomorrow, Brentford on Saturday, and the 15th of Feb. They're not in the Cup, so they're out of the Cup. So that'll be good, actually, getting to know his teammates and all that. And then they go to Arsenal 7 days after that, and then home to Leicester, and then at home to Newcastle, and so on and so forth. So it'll be a while before we see him line out in the famous claret and blue. Kazi, how's it going, Kazi? I think you're a new... Are you a new viewer, Kazi? If so, welcome. Great moves for Fergie and Cash. And now, if we could get a move for Callagher, then we'd be cooking for sure. Yeah, it's not going to happen. I don't think. No, it won't happen at all, will he?
A dream situation, yeah.
Yeah, but it definitely won't happen. That Jordanian lad that he signed, did he last weekend? He let 7 in or something, or he let.
Yeah, they played Barcelona. Conceded 7 against Barcelona for Valencia.
I'm laughing at all the 7s. Mark Fitzpatrick, would you ever go do watch-alongs like Mark Goldbridge and the like?
Not really. I don't think that's possible there for us because we go to games, don't we?
Oh, yes.
No, but not even against, but people like Mark Goldbridge. It's just that we go to games, so it's impossible to do such unless we did like we done with remember the World Cup draw, we done a watch along for that, unless it's that sort of situation. But it's very hard when you're at games and we're there and we do the pre and post match show, but not during the game.
Yeah, I agree there. Maybe a watch along of an old game. Maybe something like that of an old classic match we could do on Twitch or something like that. I'm just putting this out there live. We actually haven't discussed this at all. Maybe something like that, but it'd be very difficult to do a live watch along game. I don't think we'd be allowed to do that. I think there's something. I mean, I know we wouldn't show the footage of it. I don't know. I'd like to do it.
You can do it, but it's It's very complicated if we're an Irish football channel, unless we did it for a League of Ireland game or something like that, or an Irish player playing in a huge game. But it's a complicated one, Martin, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll look at it. I'd be open to it, but we'd be at the game though, trying to report on it as well at the same time. I'd love to see little Connor's face, especially when England made it 2-0. That was hilarious.
Oh,
I had to stop you from jumping. Bless him. Rolling Stone, Ferguson has talent, no question, but what is it about football fans and hyperbole around their players? That's called football. Dean Flood, Welbeck hasn't scored since October. What in the Mandela effect? Yeah, what in the Mandela effect? That's true, isn't it? It is the Mandela effect. Yeah, good. Well done, Dean, and well done you, Connor, for bringing that to our attention. Rolling Stone, the English are at it with Liam Delap, saying he's the next Wayne Rooney. So he'll be washed up by the time he's 29. He didn't say that, I did, in case you're listening. Downtown 1-2-3. Moran having a hard time as Stoke are struggling, and Andy is being played out of position, but he's battling away and getting good game time at a good level. I imagine you agree with that, do you?
Yeah. That's a respectful comment. He seems to like Andy more, in fairness.
Yeah. Where am I? Sorry. Oh, there we go. It's comment there. That's fair. Martin Fitzpatrick, you're starting to make me feel optimistic about Irish football again, or the Irish team again. Well, that's what we do here, Martin. I think we have a reason to be optimistic. We're probably a few months away. Probably for the next qualifying campaign, we're going to have a lot more options, I think, Connor. And I think we could have a midfield that looks very different to what we have now. Like an influx. You'd like to think John Patrick. I'm just going to call him John Patrick. John Patrick, Amabama playing regular football again. Eiran Cashin, new name on the scene. And you'd like to see, hopefully, players like Finn Ask becoming regular. So we could have a very different looking Ireland team for this September campaign.
Austin Lowell will kick into gear, hopefully, soon enough as well.
Yeah. Rolling Stone, Welbeck isn't a great finisher, but his link-up play and technical ability is miles ahead of Ferguson. Come on now, there is more to a number 9 than scoring goals.
That's exactly what I said. That's what I said. There is, but it's just at the end of the day, the main thing people look for in a number 9 is scoring goals.
It's true. Talk is Rich. Great to see Talk is Rich. Are you a new commenter as well? You're very welcome. Great to see Cashin getting a move to Brighton. Hopefully he pushes on. Could be a starter alongside Collins for us soon. James Agnew, how you doing, James? James is one of our writers over at LansdowneROAR.ie. Big changes coming towards that website in the next couple of weeks. So do have a look over on the website, LansdowneROAR.ie, where we've got articles and opinion. And James is one of those writers.
And if you're looking to be a writer as well, please reach out. If you want to write about all things football, Irish football in any context, make sure to reach out to us.
Yes, do get in contact with us, by the way. You can do that at pod@LansdowneROAR.ie, pod@LansdowneROAR.ie, or you can just contact me, David, or General at LansdowneROAR.ie, or David at LansdowneROAR.ie, and Connor at LansdowneROAR.ie.
Just send us even if that's too complicated, just send us a DM on any platform.
Just get in contact. There's many ways. Fucking get in contact with us. There's loads of ways to do it. And there's all sorts of DM or whatever you're interested. And for those of you who have got in contact with me about it, and I haven't got back to you properly about it, apologies. It's just been a bit busy, but we will absolutely get back in contact with you, wonderful folk, because we do want to build a bigger team of writers and basically just become the home of football. But anyway, here we go. Let's see what James has to say. Hi, lads. Hope all is well. Got to be honest, I was enthusiastic about Ferguson moving abroad. I thought it would be a fresh start for him in a new environment. A move abroad has worked for Troy. He's scoring goals and his confidence is flying, but West Ham is a good move for Ferguson. A decent club and working for a manager like Potter who believes in him, unlike Hurtzler. It's exactly what, See, and that sort of common sense opinion, you can get that over at LansdowneROAR.ie. James is one of our writers over there, so do check us out. And 100% there, James, 100%. Hope you are well too. Rolling Stones, there are mixed views of Ferguson from the ex-pros. Giles agrees with Connor. Cascarino doesn't believe he is the complete number 9 and has a lot to improve on. You know about that, Cascarino. Rolling Stone, watch the Hungary Ireland friendly match on YouTube. They played us off the park. We have to improve a lot to get points off them. It's on YouTube, is it?
But the problem with that is he would have watched 5 minutes highlights of the biggest chances. Maybe they created the bigger chances, but the reality is we won the game, and we can all remember that game wasn't the they didn't play us off the park at all. It was a very even. Maybe they created the better chances in the end, but they didn't play us off the park at all.
Oh, I mean, it was a terrible game of football. Come on now, Connor. We were blessed to win that game.
No. I mean, but they weren't. It's not like they were. It wasn't like we came away from that game being like, "Oh my god, I can't believe we won that game." They were so much better than us. There was nothing between the teams, and we just got the lucky goal at the end. Obviously, we were lucky to get the goal at the end because it was a poor finish from Troy Power, but it went in. But I couldn't come away from that game and be like, they were so much better. That's not a team we can't beat because we just went and beat them. But they're not a great side. They're a decent side, but they're not a great side.
They kind of reminded us of us. Reminded me, of us back in 2012. Efficient, hard to beat, and everyone knows their job and knows what they're doing. But a bit like us in 2012, we fell apart. And they fell apart. They were terrible. They bombed at the Euros. They were absolutely dreadful. I actually tipped them to do well because they were well organized, well drilled. And if you have your house in order, I've always said in international football, that is half the battle, probably 3/4 of the battle. And then, of course, the talent takes you further. But if you're organized, and they just fell apart. That's what we did to them. we killed them. But no, they're not terrible. They're a very well organized team, but we do have to watch them. Nuri Nurik, how you doing, Nuri Nurik? Are we expecting a new Ireland kit from Gastori match? I believe we are, but knowing Gastori, they'll probably release it the week after the game. I'm sure we'll have it. I'm sure we'll wear a new kit in March, Nuri Nurik, but whether it's available in the shops or not, I strongly doubt it. I mean, have you seen like all the jerseys are now like dirt cheap at the moment on the Story website?
Yeah, it's been that. Yeah, no one wants to buy them properly.
No. I bought the black shirt, and it was dreadful. It was like something that you buy. Carroll's would be better quality. O'Neill's from 1992 would be better quality than this. It was very uncomfortable, actually. But anyway, talk is Richard. Personally think Ferguson to West Ham is a great move, and his bond with Graham Potter helps. If he starts banging in goals, we can see him going to Chelsea or Man United. Hopefully, well, maybe not Man United. At the moment, another 2-0 loss at home. Dan Mad, how you doing, Dan Mad? Are you going to set up an account on Blue Sky? The other place is dying a death. I think we do have one. We just haven't used it yet. We have a Roar and a Road Twitter, but we will get to it eventually. Twitter is a bit of a cesspit at the moment, and it's run.
I think the only problem I have, I think that Blue Sky is probably, I don't think anyone uses it anymore. It's made an account. I think it's just either you just use Twitter or you don't. So I've had a few people contact me at the start when I was released saying I'm making an account, and I've always said if it continues to people to switch over, I'd consider it, but it seems like everyone who downloaded it has just stopped using it already, and from my point of view.
There you go. Dean Flood, can forgive John Joe for being a bit shaky straight into Stratic 11 in a new league after not getting more senior minutes in the last few years. Yeah, I agree with that. Listen, I think he's a player, John Patrick. He's a serious player. He's just raw. Excuse me, pardon me. He's just absolutely raw. He's raw talent, but he's got a football brain. He's a talker. He's an organizer. He's pointing. He's just moving players. No, go that way, run on. Players that are much older than him, which is really encouraging to see. His confidence got hit by that mistake early on, and he was starting to get into it, and then the manager took him off. But of course, he played 60 minutes against PSG and 63 minutes against Nantes, but that's because he's probably not match fit yet. Just skipping a couple of comments there. Baylor, what a goal from Ditzy. 37 years old and could still easily walk to the Irish team. That just shows his levels. It was a lovely chip, wasn't it?
Unbelievable. What a goal. Goal of the weekend, 100%. Cool, composed, and that bit of class that King Didzy has about him. What a player. What a player.
And Martin isn't even on. Rolling Stone, if League One is trash, what level is the Championship level? It must be really bad. No, I don't think the Championship level is bad, but from what I've seen from what I saw of League One, it wasn't great. It wasn't great today, Connor, was it? It was a very poor game.
No, but in fairness, it is better than the Championship. It's just, I think you just got a bad introduction to it today because there's some very good teams in the French league. I think just Reims and Nantes are just two very average teams that you got introduced to. But no, The Championship is in a bad level. League One is in a bad level, but League One is ahead of the Championship 100%.
Yeah. Dean Flood, the club best he's gone to seems decent, mostly top 5 finishes in recent years. Yeah, the only problem is it's Turkey. No. Yeah. Rolling Stone, 2 Brighton managers have had issues with Ferguson. You can't say his mentality can't be questioned. Well, he's young. And let's be honest, Zerbi's a headbanger. Do you remember what he did at Brighton, Connor? Like, he stormed off, didn't he? He became quite difficult to deal with, and he's over. Where's he now? He's at Napoli, is he? Marseille, sorry. He's at Marseille, another headbanger of a club as well. So, yeah, I can...
And he was injured a lot. He has been injured. He's been quite injury prone over the last couple of years, which never helps the player's rhythm.
No, and he's 20 now, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's still growing. You grow until you're 23. You know, I remember he could still have growing pains. I remember Steven Gerrard, he had almost a year out before. I remember he shot up like he grew like 10 inches. Gerrard, he used to be kind of this short lad, and then he was just really tall. I think he grew to like 6'2" or something like that. I could be getting those. I won't ask you what height he was, Connor. I know that's not your strong point. But yeah, you know, it could be, you know, he's still a young lad. He's developing. So it could be all these different problems. So no, I still think he's a good lad. Haven't heard much about his discipline being otherwise. Stone again. But on the other hand, according to his manager, has a great attitude. He can't be a top player without that. Well, that is true. We'll agree on that. Dean Flood, I'd say Ferguson's mentality is particularly poor. He's a high-profile youngster at a club who's a lot of spotlight recently. It would have got out. Exactly, Dean. It would have got out. We haven't heard much about his attitude with Ferguson. Have we been other than just a good lad? Yeah.
Nope.
Exactly. Jimmy Shell. This is on Festia Basella. Hope he doesn't get racism in Turkey, as that was my first thought when I'd seen the move. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he'd probably be more susceptible to it in Italy, really, wouldn't he, Connor?
Yeah, 100%. Italy's quite common with it these days.
It's ridiculous in this day and age. Rolling Stone, his attitude isn't awful, but isn't elite. Compare his attitude to Harvey Elliott at Liverpool, who isn't getting much game time.
Unless you're there with them day to day, you just don't know. Just don't know.
No. Evan, if you're watching, tell us what it's like. Just a couple of, I'm going to get a couple of answers here. We asked the question, Connor asked the question, who would you like to see tomorrow get a move before the transfer window shuts in January? Transfer window shuts. Darren here said Manning. He'd like Ryan Manning to get a move. Baylor, get Manning to Europe. So Ryan Manning definitely among some of the ROAR faithful there that we want to see playing regularly, but he's not going to do it in Southampton. Downtown 123. Great to see Ali making his move to Luton. What a great story. Tell us a bit more about that, Connor, actually. Slipped on the radar a bit.
Yeah, Milnik Ali gone from Leyton Orient to Luton for 1.5 million. Just 12 months ago, he was playing with Halifax Town in the National League. He's from Dublin. He used to play for St. Francis's in Dublin. So it's a massive story in terms of the rise he's had over the last 12 months. And before that, he was even playing at a lower level in England. So I think it's an unbelievable story. It's probably the best story we've had in terms of moves this window, in terms of a goodwill story for an Irish lad, because it's been some turnaround. And now he's at Luton. I know Luton haven't had a great season, but he's put himself probably right in the Ireland picture that Heimer Hallgrimsson will have to, if he does well at Luton, he'll have to go watch him. And it'll be some story if he goes from in the next, if he ends up making an Ireland debut or getting a chance with Ireland, making a squad. He goes from 12 months ago playing with Halifax Town to now maybe in the next 6 to 12 months ends up in an Ireland squad. But if he continues this rise that he's currently, this trajectory that he's going on, you never know.
Yeah, fair play to him. It is fantastic. So I love to see that. Like, what an attitude this lad has. Like, what mentality to rise through there. And some top players, some cult heroes for Ireland have actually done the same thing. Steve Finnan. He's played all levels of English football, and he played in the World Cup. It's a record he holds, doesn't he? He's the only player to play every level of Irish football, a European Cup final, and go to a major tournament. And also Wes Houlihan, he played at all levels, didn't he? League of Ireland. I think he played all levels of league football with Norwich. Am I correct in saying that?
I think so. And Jack Taylor, actually, I think Jack Taylor has scored at every level of English football, from National League up to Premier League.
Yeah, so brilliant for the lad. And yeah, it gives Heimer, hopefully it gives him another sort of headache a good kind of headache in the next few months. So, that's what we're saying about Irish football. I know it's people are on about it's down in the doldrums at the moment and it's the worst team I've ever seen and all that kind of stuff. It's not. And there's more talent coming through. And that's what we're going to do here, Connor, isn't it? Because people always say, where are the next players coming through? But that's what we're about here on Lansdowne ROAR, aren't we? And you're about on Rep Tracker. We're telling you where the next players are coming through. And our players coming through, there's talent coming through. Now you can switch on the League In pass, which doesn't allow two different people to log in at the same time, as he discovered today. And you can watch two Irish players do the stuff in League On. It's fantastic. Brilliant. So I think the future is bright. Fuck it. The future is bright. Dean, thank you, Downtown, by the way, for your comment there. Dean Flood, does Matt Doherty stay as right back for Ireland or does he take a centre back spot?
Only if he play back five. As in centre back. He's not going to play back. He's not going to play centre back in a back four.
That's maybe what the right side of a back three with two wing backs. Yeah, not as a wing back. He can't play as a wing back. Going forward, fair enough. Going back, no. And he leaves too much space. You saw what he did against England. You saw what he did against Greece home and away. At home against Greece, where he did the same thing almost a year after he'd done it in the first game against Greece, where he just leaves that space. He doesn't get back, and he leaves he was leaving poor Seamus Coleman completely exposed. But besides, I think we have enough covered there, and enough players coming through there anyway. Baylor, funny how Prenny's a no-show and Ditzy scores a beauty and a doubt loses 7-0. I never thought of that. Ronnie Stone, O'Brien will, if you're watching, Martin, I know you are. I know you're watching. He actually he sent a text in the group, didn't he? Saying, what did he say? Going on 5 minutes late. Didn't happen on my watch. O'Brien, we'll see tomorrow. I'll be watching tomorrow down in Brighton. Ronnie Stone, O'Brien will take Doherty's spot. Doherty's attitude stinks. Okay. Yeah. Talk is rich. Lads, do you think we're sorted for the right back position now with Jacob Bryant and possibly Jimmy Dunn covering there? That's an excellent question. Talk is rich. What say you?
Yeah, it seems like, well, Darrow Shea was playing out the last window and Bamadeli played there the window before. So, yeah, it seems like we have plenty of options at right back, but their centre backs turned into right backs. But hopefully, or even a Banquet can play right back for us. He's been played very well for Watford there. No, it's we have plenty of cover there, but hopefully someone breaks through. That's a natural right back that is comfortable playing there every week and isn't just adapting for an international window.
Yeah, and I dare say Heimer is going to go. He's obviously introduced a lot more pragmatism and solidity for Ireland. That's what he wants, and I think for O'Brien and Jimmy Dunn, actually, it's quite good timing for them because they're not natural right backs. So if you're just looking for to solidify your defense, like Everton have done, they stopped the rot. They've stopped the rot, and that's what Heimer is trying to do. He's just trying to stop the rot, build a foundation. So it might be the perfect time for Jacob Bryant. Now, for how long I don't know, because I think Heimer's spoken about that, hasn't he? He wants to stop the rot, stop us losing games, stop us conceding goals, make mistakes, and then build from that and maybe evolve the style of play to a bit more attacking, attack-minded, or a nice blend. That's what he's spoken about in the past anyway. Rolling Stone says O'Brien is a centre back playing as a right back. It's not a natural position. It's not ideal. Irish Football Blog, how you doing, Bill? We will know the Irish squad is in great place when we no longer have to select Celtic players. Oh, shots fired in Glasgow. What do you say to that, Connor? I ain't touching that with a barge pole.
I'm not touching with a barge pole either.
That's Irish Blog over there on YouTube and Twitter there. Send your hate tweets to Bill over there. I mean, to be fair, thankfully we don't pick players from League One anymore. The English third tier, not the top tier in France. And we did a lot of that, didn't we, under Kenny? We picked a lot of League One players. Now we don't pick any, mostly Premier League and the odd championship. So it's proving. Ronnie Stoner, only potential top class defender is Collins, but you can't play him in two positions like Heimer does. That's dangerous. Well, I don't know, actually. He didn't look that top class today, did he, Connor? I forgot to mention this earlier on. I knew there was something I had to say about the defenders. Very poor Nathan Collins wasn't he, for the second goal, Spurs goal?
Right, for fairness, I didn't watch the game, so I'd imagine
Yeah.
he played all right. But I was watching Man United, but which was the worst. But no, he just because he was stepped out to midfield for that moment. Maybe that's what they do for goal kicks for the opposition. But he was stepping out and then he was trying to cover back, and then he looked. I don't know, because you always say about ball watching, but I don't think he was ball watching. I think he just was either absolutely wrecked in the 86th minute, or he just wasn't ours tracking sour. But I'd like to think, because we can't question Collins' attitude as a footballer, because he wouldn't have been made Ireland captain in all the previous games if he didn't have a top attitude, and wouldn't have made it to the level he has now without that. But
No,
yeah, it was strange. I think he must have been just very tired or something that he had.
Well, not be funny. If you're saying he can't be asked or he's too tired to track back, then that's his attitude. That's actually worse what you're saying. What I'm saying is he was ball watching, that he switched off.
I don't think it was that.
I
just think he was too. He did, because the thing is, he did try to come back. I just think it just wasn't like he was.
But he was running in line with the ball carrier, and he was watching the ball carrier. I don't know the name, but he was watching the ball carrier. And what he didn't see was that in between the channel between him and the ball carrier, is that guy, what was his name? Sarr, was it?
Yeah.
Was making a run in that channel. So he wasn't watching him. And by the time he saw him, it was too late. The guy had flown past him. He didn't even come across to block him off. So if he did see him, all he had to do was cut him off. Yeah. Was to step inside the channel. He didn't. So
he should have done better. Yeah, I think he should have done better.
Yeah, that's why I think
he should have done better.
Yeah, see, there you go. See, that's why he doesn't like it when I'm on this pod, because I stamp out the truth on the podcast. See, Martin doesn't challenge you enough.
I didn't say it was. I just said I thought he should have done better. Simple as.
He should have done better. And so I got it out of you. But yeah, all he had to do was just step into the channel, make him, when it was too late, then he could have crossed. But it was too late by then. So that's why I think he was ball watching, and he does ball watch a lot. I've been watching.
Dave, you're going to need to continue the comments there for 30 seconds. I'll be back in 30 seconds. Hope people don't miss me too much. But you continue the comments there.
He's gone off to punch a wall, folks. I'll keep going with the comments here. Rolling Stone, we will need to go after some of those English midfielders to solve our problems. Oh, Jesus. Rolling Stone, our bastion of sunshine over there. Dean Flood, you'll say, you, Bill, saying we'll be better off with Adam Ida IFB. And he responds to that one as a Corkman. Absolutely not. As someone who rates other options higher, yes. I think, Bill is a Corkman, so he likes to argue. I could say that because my family is from Cork. Lee Mewett responds to Rolling Stone comment. Richard Dunn, Jamie Carragher started their careers as fullbacks. It's not uncommon to do this to ease young players in. That's an excellent point, Lee Mewett. Good man for that. And we hope you're enjoying the pod as well. Connor will be back in a second. He's just having a comfort break or to punch the wall because I've called him out in a few things. Lee Mewett, this also happens to strikers quite often play out wide before given responsibility of playing number 9. Rolling Stone, it can be done, but O'Brien could get found out there. And then he asks questions. Anyone here think we will qualify for World Cup 2026? I know Connor does. I'm not too sure, but I do think we are getting better. Dean Flo says, I think we'll qualify. Although he says that every tournament we try to get in. Baylor, Sammy Smallish turned 29 years old. Thank you for that, Baylor. I will update all the graphics on my week off. Even though I'm off on holiday, I'll still be back. I'll still be doing a bit of work there. Rolling Stone, unless Ferguson catches fire and we get a top-class midfielder, it's doubtful to qualify. He says also, even Scotland, Norway, Serbia would kill us. And G there with the wonderful Michael Collins. A wonderful Corkman. Take notes, Bill. Great job, lads. Great content, says G. Thank you very much, G. We really do appreciate it. D Flood there. Connor, you all right? Is your hand okay? Did you get the wall a good punch? Did you?
I hope you didn't slag me off too much now.
No, just tell them that you're off punching the wall because I called you out in a few things.
I was wiping the tears. I wasn't punching the walls.
You're wiping something, all right?
We're PG over here.
No, it's all right. It's 11:15, so we're
All right.
grand. Don't worry. You got Martin back tomorrow anyway. Yeah, you got Martin back tomorrow, so don't worry. Get a nice easy ride. You are tomorrow. D Flow be more to Scotland with a much worse squad not long ago. Sorry, this is Rolling Stone asking if we qualify for the 2026 World Cup. I did say that you thought we would, so.
Do you? I think it's just written in the stars.
I don't know because I don't know which Ireland's going to show. We should beat Bulgaria, but I don't know which Ireland's going to show up. It depends on the. It just depends on. Let me have a look at the league table. Actually,
What's Bulgaria got to do with it? He's on my World Cup.
Yeah, but if we get battered by, or if we get relegated by Bulgaria in March, that's going to have a massive effect on how we get on. I think it's all about momentum.
All right, but we're gonna batter Bulgaria.
I mean, we got Portugal, Denmark, Hungary, and Armenia. That's a tough group, but it's not the hardest. I don't know if we build enough momentum to if we do what we should do against Bulgaria. We get more players coming through, and you start playing more games for the clubs, like Amabama and John Patrick, and all those lads coming through, Boston Lawal, and they start to develop. I think. Sorry, let me just pause my backup there. So I'm backing up my files, folks. That's why my internet went off there a little bit. So hopefully the internet will kick back in. Then yeah, Portugal or Denmark, we could do really well there. But I don't know. It's just. I don't know.
We will be in that playoff. Don't you worry. We will be in. We will finish second at the minimum. I think we will finish second, and then we will qualify for the World Cup next summer. If you don't have confidence in your country qualifying for the World Cup, what's the point of being a football fan? Because it's the thing we all dream of as a football fan. And America is the home of a lot of Irish people. Obviously Canada and Mexico as well. But no. I think we should have confidence in this group of lads, have confidence in this manager, and there's nothing wrong with a bit of confidence. People like to talk about Irish fans or football fans being delusional. Who cares if you're delusional? You're better off being delusionally confident, delusionally negative.
Yeah, but the thing you forget now, I've been an Ireland fan for a lot longer than you, and
but you've had a lot of great moments. So as an Ireland fan,
not recently.
That's why it's time to change.
Not since I started doing this fucking podcast. I haven't anyway. That's for sure. I don't know. I need to see. I think we're going in the right direction. I just think a lot of damage has been done, and it's going to take a little bit longer than it should have. A lot of damage is done over the last couple of years, and I do think if we keep going the right direction, and he gets a camp with those boys, I think he can get into their minds a little bit. He's a very chilled out guy. He's a very I haven't met Heimer, but I've heard from people who work with him closely. He's very chilled out. He's very likable. Whereas, maybe Stephen Kenny was a bit lovely man, gentleman, fantastic coach at League of Ireland level, but maybe put himself under too much pressure because this was his dream job, and maybe put too much pressure on the players and himself. So I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Reed McLaughlin, drop a like, would you, lads? Thank you, Reed. Drop a like and a subscribe, please. And Dean Flood comments as well on the Scotland game. Says that we murdered Scotland with a much worse squad not long ago, and then we lost to them 2-1 in Glasgow, which was a fabulous game of football, actually. To be fair, Nurek, are you going to rip off Sky Sports News tomorrow and have a yellow ticker running? No, we'll have a green one. We can have a green one. Check this out. Hold on. We'll have one of these bad boys going tomorrow. Although Martin's going to try and... well, here's what we use. See like that? Except it's an old one. Although Martin trying to use it, he'll probably crash the whole internet. Bless him. Back to our comments there. Where are we? Rep Tracker. Make sure you drop a like, lads. Let's try hit 20 likes. 20 likes. Come on.
On a live. Come on, we can hit it during the live.
Let's do it. No point including the Oxford lad Goodrum in the player review, says Paula Mahoney. Oh, Connor. What do you say to that? No,
but he made another comment in response.
No point including Goodrum in player review. He has no interest in playing for Ireland. He turned down underage call because he was house hunting, apparently.
Bill responded to him.
Okay. With respect, you haven't a clue about what you're talking about. See, that's what I like about you, Bill. You're ever the diplomat.
Yeah, but no, that's not. He just couldn't commit to Ireland under 21's last campaign because of his girlfriend was pregnant, and he's still very young, and it was a big thing of him staying with his girlfriend while she was pregnant at 21, and they hadn't a house to live in at the time. I think he was probably just living with his father or his mother, and it was just a big thing for him at the time. And I think he was only he'd only gone up to the championship, and he is fully committed to Ireland, and he only wants to play for Ireland. It's just a thing of it just wasn't the right time for him to leave his family during that stage for under 21 football. So they've had the baby now, and they've moved into a house. But he did not call up because he wanted to go house hunting. That's definitely not the case, because I'm sure that can be done at any time of the year. It can do it. They don't train all day. They can go house hunting in the afternoon. So no, that's not the reason he turned down a call up.
I think as well, people do forget that footballers are people. Should have a badge. Footballers are people too. Stuff happens like that. But like, not being funny, Paul, but we would be quite with all due respect, and thank you for your comment, by the way, even if we don't agree with it. And that's what we're here about.
He's responded to it, by the way.
Oh, let's have a look, because now we're a bit more live with the old comments.
I put it up there for us.
There you go. And to be fair, Connor would know.
Yeah.
We have an excellent link there with the underage, with the youth sides there. So fair enough. Fair play. See, and that's what I like about this. That's what I love about Lansdowne ROAR. We can have a discussion, we can have a disagreement, and we can all still get on. Football's about opinions, and we have.
Paul's a legend. Paul won't doubt me.
Just don't ask him what height Tyler Goodrum is. You'll be all right. Seamus Dial, I see somewhere Irish fans are comparing Gibson Park to DuPont. No comparison.
Is this a bot account? Because why is he talking about rugby?
Yeah, I don't know.
It has to be a bot account. There's them automated comments that they put on when they hear probably Ireland and fans.
Yeah. New Newark, David, how's the archive retrieval going? Thank you for asking. It would be easier to play tiddlywinks with my arse cheeks. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, it is getting there, getting a lot of stuff, but it is quite, because it's not just, I didn't just lose the archive. I also lost a lot of vlog stuff as well that I've had to retrieve from different places. So it's, when it's so much to do, Connor, and it's like you've so much ground to cover. Where do you start? You can do it. Yeah. You'll get it. I hope. But I'm hoping my brother will have when he comes over in November. When he comes over in February, he'll have a look at the hard drives and he'll be able to extract what he can. But don't worry. That's why. Yeah, and actually, that's why the content on Lansdowne ROAR has been a little bit wasn't kind of what it was over the last while. We're kind of getting back there again. But it just when trust me, folks, when you lose your archive, stuff that you've built up over the last few years, and your artwork, your footage of games and all that, and it's very comprehensive, probably one of the most comprehensive archives of Irish football, which I think is important to have, because and I tried to make it as available as possible to the ROAR faithful and other people, because I think it's important to have. But it's just
Newark knew what he was doing here. He set you off on a rant.
He has, hasn't he?
He set you off.
He has. No, it was very painful. It was a very painful experience. Lessons were learned. But you know what? I've got a fair bit of a back, but I've lost. The annoying thing is I've lost a couple of things for the moment. Like Connor, when we were in Finland, we got locked out. We got locked in the ground, and I lost some of that footage. But I'm going to try and get it back. Just stuff like that we never got a chance to release, and it's some good stuff. But we'll do you right in from March. But lessons were learned. I made mistakes with it, and I try not to think about it too much, and I'll not mention it again. But I was asked a direct question, so I'll give a direct answer as I always try to do. But yeah, it was very painful. But we're getting there, Neri. And if you want to contribute to the archive, I would very much appreciate any help, Neri. Just putting it out there. But thank you for your response. We hope you are enjoying the pod. Blue Sky is dead food, says G. That's the thing as well. We were asked about earlier on about Blue Sky. If it takes off as a platform, we'll be on it. We're going to try and put ourselves on more platforms, but it's a lot of work, Connor, isn't it? When you spread across different platforms, it's a lot of work because you have to do it manually. You can pay for software to do, but that's a fortune.
Facebook and Instagram's all right because it's Meta, but in terms of Blue Sky and Twitter won't be correlated in the sense to be competition, but I just think Blue Sky is going to be, as he said, dead food, and it's going to be in the next month or two. No one will be used anymore.
Yeah, 100%. We keep me up there, Connor.
I don't know what's happened there. Just suddenly, all hit me like
hell. Don't fucking get me started. Twitter used to be able to use in the old when I started doing Lansdowne ROAR 6 years ago, you could actually add Twitter as well, but they had a fallout. So you used to have 3. I know, how handy would that be? Max, who do we see starting left back for the upcoming games? Being a weak position for us. I have a feeling Sirkin is going to get a call up. I think they're going to call him up. Remember, he was at Sunderland. You pointed it out. We got a lot of coverage over that, Connor. I think Heimer. I'm not going on anything, by the way. I haven't been told anything. I just have a feeling that Kirkin's going to come into that team.
So do I.
Yeah.
So I'll be got it if he's not. He can do one, but no. But even if you look at England, like if you look today, Miles Lewis-Skelly scored for Arsenal, and that's another left back coming through for them. I know that's a position they don't have huge amount of talent, but that's another player that's going to come in for them, or even go into their under 21s. So, no, Dennis, you know what to do. Come home, come to the country. You're actually, we're born in. So, yeah, you're Irish, man. Get here now.
Yeah, come back home, you bastard.
Yeah,
I know. I say that, Dennis, and I'll probably set him off now.
Yeah, he's going to see this, and he's going to lose a lot.
That's it. Fucking Latvia. No. We hope he comes home. Max also asks, how you doing, Max, by the way? I'm not sure if you're a first-time commenter, by the way. Thank you very much. We do appreciate you sticking with us tonight. Just under 1,500 watching us on a bank holiday weekend, which is great because, people are probably doing other things. Are there any promising Irish players in National League or National North-South to be watching? Connor, probably not, is there?
There's actually a lad called Killian Barrett. He joined Sheffield Wednesday in the summer. He was playing in the National League lower levels, and he got a trial at Sheffield Wednesday in the summer. And now he's currently on loan at Solihull Moors, and he's done excellently at Solihull Moors. And I believe there's interest from League One clubs, I think, actually wanting to sign him, but I think he'll stay there probably the rest of the season. But no, he's having a really good. I think he'll probably get called up to the Ireland under-21s in March, as well as the goalkeeper options. But he's one to look out for. Killian Barrett. I believe he is from Mayo. He's from Mayo or Sligo, because I remember actually I put up a post for when he signed for Sheffield Wednesday, and I was told he was from either Mayo or Sligo, and then I got a contact then saying no, he's actually from the other county. So he's from Mayo or Sligo. He's from Connacht anyway, and he's doing very well at Solihull Moors, which is a very good National League side. So hopefully he can continue to develop.
There you go. Old dude 420. I've said it on here before, and I'll say it again. Brighton will sell or keep Ferguson. He won't loan him because he might get injured on loan or not score. That's reduce his value further. He is actually going on loan. Old dude. I'm not sure if you've seen the news. He is actually going to West Ham on loan. He will be announced tomorrow. He's completed his medical. It's happening. It's a straightforward loan deal. And this is on Sky Sports. It's a straightforward loan deal. They're going to cover all the costs for it. No option to buy. Just literally just to get him back firing again. So there you go. And Rolling Stone says you'd probably loan him out to West Ham. Old dude again. Just in response to that, I'm surprised you loaned Ferguson. I guess I don't know shit. And then he says this, Ireland top the group. Oh no!
Nothing wrong with that.
No, but Palomani, if John Joe is playing regularly in France till March, he should be in the squad. It's a position we are so poor in. I do agree with that, Paul. We did cover it earlier. I'm not sure if you saw it. He's raw. He's very, very raw. He has missed a lot of football, a lot of senior football between 17 and 21. There's a player in there. His, in my opinion, and I believe, Connor, your opinion as well, correct me if I'm wrong, his strength is carrying the ball forward. They weren't really doing that. They weren't allowing him to do that today because they were bypassing the midfield. They're playing along today, Connor, weren't they? So, but his strength is running forward with the ball.
But I don't think, sorry to bump in, but just in terms of saying that if he's playing regularly, he should be called up, I don't think that's a good logic, because France isn't the Premier League, and it's different if you're playing every week in the Premier League, because you have to be a really, really, really good player. If he's playing shit in the French league, or he's just playing okay, getting hooked every game, or he's only playing 30 minutes off the bench, I don't think that's enough to say that that's good enough to make the squad, because as bad as we are in midfield, we do have enough options like Smallbone, Taylor, Malumbi, Knight, that can play in that deeper number 8 role as such beside Cullen. So he still has a bit to do before he breaks in. As much as I really, really want him to be there, Dave, but you can't say just if he's playing. He has to continue to show development and show promise. But I do think when if a young player coming through and they're doing really well and the potential, you get them in as soon as possible.
Yeah, no, I do agree. I mean, yeah, he's played 60 minutes against PSG. He's played 63 minutes today, so he's still finding his feet. So maybe I think March will be definitely too soon for him. Rolling Stone, our midfield is crap. We should just sit deep and play on the break. Not pretty, but it can be effective. Keith Tracy said that that's what we should do, and I agree. Paul O'Mahony, if Kirkin came on board with O'Brien on the right and other really good CBs, we would be seriously solid team. In theory, I agree with that. 100%. And Rolling Stone asks, is Kirkin that good? He's playing regularly in a very good Sunderland side.
He's the best left back in the Championship. That's the way you need to really look at it.
There you go. And we have a dearth of options. We have no options as a left back. We actually don't have a left back, a proper left back. Anyone we have is either is makeshift, completely makeshift. Either they are Jason Knight, who's a midfielder, or it's Robbie Brady, who was an attacking midfielder. We don't have anyone. James McLean was a winger and played there as well. So yeah. Anyway, and Mark Curran in late on the live has still managed to catch Rolling Stone knocking our players. Well, there you go. And that's where we're going to leave it, folks. So thank you very much. Gone a little bit over, but we just enjoyed talking to you guys. Just under 1,500 of you watching us on a bank holiday is fantastic. Thank you so much for your support. Before we go, we just want to remind you, tomorrow, 9:30, same bat channel, but different bat time. We have the January transfer window deadline day, 9:30 tomorrow on YouTube and on Twitter and on Facebook. We're going to have all of the Irish transfers for you, the very latest, right up to the wire. I think it closed at 11 p.m. So you guys are going to go right up to the wire, Connor, aren't you?
100%. We will be there.
Yeah, but you will be. I'll be down in Brighton.
You'll be watching.
I'll be watching you in a hotel room.
Just calm down with it.
Nah, just yeah. just gotta go. Just picture that in your mind. Maybe with Doritos. So January transfer window deadline day tomorrow at 9:30 on the YouTube, on the Twitter, on the Facebook account. So get ready for that. If you haven't already, folks, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to get to 2,000 before the next window and beyond, of course. And if you haven't, please go over to the Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter, and head over to lansdowneroar.e for opinion, and also Connor, Rep Tracker, at Rep Tracker, over on Twitter and Facebook, doing God's work for the boys and girls in green of the future and the present. Right, we're going to leave it there. Connor, thank you very much. Thank you guys for watching. We will be back tomorrow with the live transfer deadline day show. I'm David Dunn. He is Connor McAvoy. We're out of here. You're the Roar faithful. You're wonderful. We love you very much. Come on, you boys of green. Good night. God bless.